There is an almost instinctive belief that nature operates by a simple logic. The strong devour the weak, the larger dominates the smaller, and survival follows a clear hierarchy. The African savannah exists precisely to dismantle that certainty. What we see here is not merely a dispute over food, but a textbook example of kleptoparasitism, the act of one animal stealing prey captured by another. Although the leopard is technically a more refined and agile predator, the hyena possesses a robust physical build and one of the most powerful jaws in the animal kingdom. For a solitary feline, any injury can mean the inability to hunt again. The hyena knows this. Notice that it uses only its body with no intention of harming the leopard. After all, a functional leopard is a future source of easy meals. When a kill occurs in open terrain, as in this footage, the leopard's chances of holding on to its meal diminish drastically as time passes, and the scent draws in more opportunists. This is precisely why leopards so often prefer to hoist their prey into the branches of acacia trees before that happens. That same assumption, that strength and agility guarantee victory, is put to the test on the plains of Tanzania. World-renowned for hosting the greatest wildlife spectacles on Earth, these plains sometimes reveal something even more surprising than the scale of a great hunt: the sheer audacity of their smaller inhabitants. A curious encounter says a great deal about animal hierarchy: a powerful lioness standing face to face with the fearless honey badger. This small mammal is widely regarded as the most fearless animal in the world, and it has earned that title. Another kind of vulnerability, far less obvious, belongs to the savannah's largest resident. Have you ever stopped to think about what happens to giraffes during a thunderstorm? The question seems simple, almost naive, until it reveals one of the most surprising frailties on the African continent. The very structure that grants the giraffe exclusive access to the tops of acacia trees turns it into a biological lightning rod the moment the skies close in. In other words, a giraffe has nowhere to hide when the storm rolls in. Out in the open, these giants stand fully exposed, dependent on a fragile balance between luck and timing. African wild dogs rank among the most efficient hunters on the continent. Yet one individual spotted at the Malamala Game Reserve in South Africa discovered that hunting efficiency is no guarantee of safety. In Kruger National Park, an adult male hippopotamus weighing approximately 1,500 kilograms lies motionless at the edge of an embankment. Minutes earlier, while attempting to return to a water channel, the animal slipped on loose soil and suffered a possible injury to the joint of its left femur. It is at this moment that the scene takes an unexpected turn. A young spotted hyena alone approaches, not in an attack posture, but in direct physical contact, licking the animal and removing parasites and moisture. Researchers continue to debate what this behavior represents. As the ground temperature dropped with the fading afternoon, the hippo's condition did not improve. 3 hours later, the hippopotamus met its natural end. The hyena, however, stayed until the very last moment, without ever attacking. At the heart of the Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest straddling the border between India and Bangladesh, one of the most iconic moments in wildlife conservation unfolds: the release of a royal Bengal tiger into its natural habitat. The tension aboard the vessel is palpable. The tiger does not hesitate, launching itself in a spectacular leap directly into the murky river waters. Unlike most felines which avoid water, Bengal tigers are exceptional and enthusiastic swimmers. Watching the animal move through the water, the technique is flawless. It keeps its head raised to orient itself while driving its massive body forward with powerful strokes toward the dense riverbank. Operations like this are fundamental to the balance of the ecosystem and to the coexistence between humans and large predators. Across the vast African plains, survival is a game of patience and extreme opportunity. What we witness in this scene is an antelope trapped in the muddy bed of a shallow river. Sensing the animal's distress, the lionesses move in immediately. Watch the coordination between them. With remarkable care, they work together to pull the antelope free from that precarious situation. After the successful rescue, the care does not stop there. The lionesses show an almost tender hospitality, guiding the antelope to a more sheltered spot, away from the sun and away from the eyes of onlookers. The herbivore was pulled from that hostile place, lucky to be alive. In nature, the line between calm and danger is razor thin, especially for those still learning the rules of survival. It all begins as a moment of exploration at the water's edge for a lion cub. We witness the exact moment the small feline loses its footing and falls in. The risk of drowning or hypothermia is real. The mother lioness reacts instantly. Without hesitation, she positions herself at the edge. The same jaws and claws used to bring down prey are here applied with remarkable gentleness, lifting the cub by the scruff of the neck, an area where the skin is looser and more resilient. Had this episode occurred beyond the mother's watch, the consequences could have been irreversible. After the scare, the cub resumes its way on solid ground, now a little wiser about the limits of its territory. It is these small daily dramas that shape the great predators of tomorrow, turning missteps into vital lessons in survival. Across the vast expanses of the Serengeti, a predator's meal is rarely a solitary affair. This dispute goes beyond hunger. It is a display of hierarchy and a constant battle for resources in an environment where nothing goes to waste. The lion, protecting its territory and its sustenance, reasserts its authority. This dynamic of kleptoparasitism is one of the riskiest behaviors in all of wildlife. That same logic, that being larger guarantees victory, is completely overturned in another encounter. The predator's defeat at the hands of its prey. The porcupine's defense mechanism is one of the most sophisticated in the natural world. Hundreds of barbed quills carry a microscopic structure designed to detach on the slightest contact and progressively burrow deeper into the attacker's tissue. For a leopard, the equation rarely pays off. The caloric reward of an adult porcupine exists, but the risk of deep infection from quills lodged in soft tissue can have irreversible consequences weeks after the confrontation. Leopards have been found dead as a result of poorly removed quills. But not every threat in the savannah announces itself with growls or sudden movements. In field recordings, a young male hyena, logged as C42, sleeps deeply after a solitary foray. Less than 40 centimeters away, an adult black mamba of roughly 2 meters emerges from a hole in the ground. C42 notices nothing. What saves him, provisionally, is the involuntary twitch of an ear, a reaction to a passing fly. That minimal stimulus was enough to trigger the mamba's defensive strike, which caught the tissue just above the joint. The black mamba is one of the most dangerous snakes on the planet. The thickness of the skin in that region of the hyena prevented deep penetration, but a partial load of neurotoxins was delivered. Over the following 2 hours, C42 displayed ataxia, loss of motor coordination, and drooping of the eyelids, yet never went into respiratory collapse. By nightfall, he was seen returning to the clan. He remained lethargic for 14 hours until the toxin had fully metabolized. He survived a threat he never even registered. And that, perhaps, is the most honest summary of what it means to exist in the savannah. We have seen today that the wild is a system of constant pressures, where every animal simultaneously holds the role of predator, prey, and open question. What these recordings prove is that nature is far more complex than any narrative we might try to impose upon it. If you enjoyed the documentary, hit the like button. It really helps me keep creating new content. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.